Baseball shortstop Carlos Correa recently signed a record $350 million contract spanning over 13 years with the San Francisco Giants. However, Correa's signing has impacted the MLB free agency market apart from the Giants getting a new shortstop. So how does the signing affect the MLB free agency market? Also, can Carlos Correa reach his potential with the Giants? Watch this video to get all the details, so stay tuned. Starting us off, what we're hearing about the Carlos Correa signing. Carlos Correa received a 13-year contract with the Giants, continuing a trend where organizations include guaranteed years as part of the price of signing a player. It follows in the footsteps of Trea Turner, who received 11 years from the Phillies, and Xander Bogaerts, who received 11 years from the Padres. Aaron Judge also received 9 years to stay with the Yankees, and even Jacob deGrom received 5 years from the Rangers. At least through age 39, all of them are still being compensated. It's less of an industry-wide trend and more of a niche market among a few franchise owners who reflect what the players desired during the lockout. Owners who are as driven to win as the players are. The Giants were in dire need of a superstar, and when they couldn't get Judge, Correa was going to San Francisco. After a platform season worse than when Correa was forced to accept a pillow contract from Minnesota, agent Scott Boras again worked his magic, landing Correa the fourth richest free agent contract worth $350 million. The Giants have lost over 1 million fans since 2016. Both the Padres and Rangers have never claimed a World Series victory. John Middleton, the owner of the Phillies, is extending Bryce Harper's 13-year deal and capitalizing on the team's surprising World Series triumph last year. Steve Cohen, the owner of the Mets and a diehard fan, whose club hasn't won the World Series in 36 years, is the MLB's largest market influencer. He will spend more on salary than the bottom 4 clubs combined. And yes, there are accounting gimmicks in some of this. Regarding the competitive balance tax vulnerability, long contracts lower the average annual value computation. On the other hand, you may still end up with nothing. Owners have been ready to spend that money this winter to get their desired outcomes. So how is this going to affect the MLB's free agency market? So here's what Carlos Correa's new deal with the Giants may imply for Dansby Swanson's market and the rest of MLB's free agency. Nobody in baseball suggested that super long-term contracts be reinstated after the CBA was approved. One executive says they got away from them for a reason. They're foolish. The owners, though, are putting efficiency aside because they believe they need stars to win the World Series. A fan must praise such extreme euphoria. However, they will only be successful if they try. So what's going on in the MLB free agency market? Firstly, the talent is mostly moving in one direction. Of the top 11 free agents, 9 joined NL clubs. Among the 11 players with the highest free agency contracts this winter, only Jacob deGrom moved from the National League to the American League. 25 players have inked deals worth over $100 million or more during the last 4 free agent marketplaces. Of the tops, 25 free agents, 23 signed with East or West Coast clubs. Javi Baez signing for Detroit and Correa signing for Minnesota are the 2 central exceptions. Next, while they won't be playing shortstop for their contracts, Correa, Turner, and Bogaerts will all get salaries comparable to those of great shortstops starting at age 34 for 7 seasons. Shortstop players age quicker than any other position. Only once in the last 6 years has a 34-year-old shortstop played 120 games. Brandon Crawford in 2021. Alexei Ramirez from 2016 was the one before him. And that's before the shift ban, which stresses the range more than ever. Correa has the potential to become a top third baseman. Turner has the potential to develop into an outfielder in the mold of Robin Yount, although he looks to be the first to move off shortstop. Bogaerts has the least positional versatility. Also, given that Ha-Seong Kim is the superior shortstop, Bogaerts will move to third if Manny Machado chooses to opt out of his contract after the next season. One issue, a source claims Bogaerts informed clubs that third base is not his preferred position and that he prefers second base. One executive declares that it was the worst contract, and it's not even close, pointing out that the agreement is so disproportionately large that it exonerates the Red Sox after Boston offered $160 million over 6 years. Following that, Dansby Swanson did the right thing by taking his time, allowing the top of the shortstop market to play out and allowing the losers of the Correa, Turner, Bogaerts bidding war to compete for the best available player at the position. But there's a catch. No irrational exuberance owners are left in the remaining field to influence the bidding. His best possibilities appear to be the Twins, Cubs, Cardinals, and Dodgers. 3 clubs from the Central Division and a Dodgers squad committed to incorporating young players into the mix and putting the create a super team mentality aside for one season. Los Angeles has reevaluated itself after being eliminated in one postseason series following 111 victories. However, Swanson is the field's top pure shortstop. His worth is as a shortstop who can help you win before he ages out of the position, not as a star with franchise value over 11 to 13 years. That suggests a high annual average value, excluding the exceptional years. Next up, Carlos Rodon puts the Yankees' resolve to the test. Even without him, they are a postseason club. But to beat Houston, the New York Yankees likely need the swing-and-miss left-hander. The Yankees are also facing market pressure due to Cohen disappointing New York supporters by not stepping up. Regarding age and other factors, Rodon is the Robbie Ray of this year, who received 5 years and $115 million from Seattle last year. He will likely only receive 6 or 7 years in this market. No one would consider it efficient to pay Rodon, Judge, Garrett Cole, or Giancarlo Stanton $126 million in 2027 when they will be 34, 35, 36, and 37 years old respectively. However, it may be the price the Yankees must pay to try to beat the Astros in the upcoming years. Next up, fantasy baseball. Can Carlos Correa realize his potential with the San Francisco Giants? Carlos Correa is a shortstop for the San Francisco Giants, agreed to a 13-year, $350 million contract, shattering previous records for both length and amount. More than any of the other high-class 4 shortstops who became free agents this offseason, including Xander Bogaerts, Dansby Swanson, and Trea Turner, had received so far and most likely will in the end. The value of Correa as a financial investment may be disputed. However you look at it, he provides the Giants with a bona fide superstar with a ton of postseason experience at a premium position. He will improve a lineup that has generally mixed and matched its way to success in 3 seasons under manager Gabe Kapler. Correa's landing location could be better, though, in the context of fantasy baseball, our great game in which only a player's basic numbers matter. One of the worst possible locations for hitters is Correa's new home, Oracle Park in San Francisco. It has received a 95 on StatCast 3-year park factors, making it the 3rd worst stadium overall. It is also the 3rd worst venue for home runs with a 73 park factor, meaning it suppressed home runs by a staggering 27% for all hitters, and the 2nd worst venue for home runs with a 76 park factor and an overall 95 for right-handed batters. Remember that those figures cover the 3 seasons that followed the Giants' decision to reduce the vast outfield dimensions of the ballpark during the 2019-2020 offseason. Even with the changes, it remains a massive venue. The Giants haven't had a 30-homer hitter in any of their last 16 seasons at Oracle Park, which is a significant milestone to mention, given that Correa has never accomplished it, having peaked at 26 during the 2021 season. Correa's statistical underachievement has undoubtedly been exaggerated by his reputation as the #1 overall draft pick of the 2012 season and his postseason success of 18 home runs and an .849 OPS in 79 career playoff games. We look at this player-team relationship and wonder if a persistent trend of Correa's underachievement would push the Giants to reduce the size of their outfield at some point. Meanwhile, Correa can hit 30 home runs when healthy, and he'll manage it at least once over his soon-to-be 13 seasons in San Francisco. It may be difficult for either of us to predict the exact year. The most compelling argument in favor of him in fantasy baseball is that he is an excellent player who will start every day at number 2 or 3, which is rare in Kapler's platoon-oriented lineups. The club averaged the 8th most runs per game in baseball in 2020, the 6th most in 2021, and the 11th most in 2022 during Kapler's first 3 seasons as manager. If Correa stays healthy, he should have little trouble maintaining his .277, .356, and .481 batting statistics, which translates to an average of 28 home runs every 162 games throughout his 8-year career. Considering his medical history, Correa's ailments are perhaps an even bigger obstacle to his total fantasy success. In only 3 of his 6 complete 162-game seasons, he has played more than 110 games, and in his career he has missed 22% of his team's games, a concerning percentage for a player who is still only 28 years old. With the Giants, Correa's chance of injury won't alter, and you can never be sure if he'll play 125 or 150 games, which makes the 30 home run wager described before risky. We could have been more bullish about Correa's chances of having a career year in 2023 if he had ended up with the Yankees, Dodgers, or Mets, because those teams all had better opportunities to raise his statistical ceiling. San Francisco is a terrific pure baseball fit for him. Still, it lacks the fantasy upside he'll need to surpass Turner, Bogaerts, or Swanson in the rankings, and all 3 handily exceeded his last season in every fantasy category. It's now a virtual coin flip between us, but depending on where Swanson ends up, we may eventually decide which of the 2 ranks 9th and which ranks 10th for 2023. The fate of Brandon Crawford is another significant repercussion of Correa's contract. He could move to 3rd or 2nd base and fit into Kapler's matchup-focused lineup patterns, which would help him in fantasy baseball, particularly now from a playing time perspective, given his relocation from Oracle Park to practically any better offensive setting. However, a trade is undoubtedly a possibility. If he stays in San Francisco, Crawford Crawford faces a serious risk of falling to the same positional player rater ranking as last year, and which was number 55. Crawford is a stronger points-based fantasy hitter than a rotisserie player, since playing time tends to boost his score. So that's it, guys. Carlos Correa has signed for the San Francisco Giants. Can he reach his potential with his new team? Probably even helping them to the MLB World Series? Also, let's hear your comments in the section below. Please remember to subscribe, and thank you for watching.